Oh, there it is. Man, those harmonics are tough. Those are tough cookies. What's going on, you guys? Doing some Satriani practice. I'm wanting to make a video on that song, Up in the Sky. Those harmonics are really challenging to get at a high speed. Let me check my tuning real quick because I know that I am out of tune now. What's going on? If you got, let me know where you're at in the world. Who are you? Where are you from? I would love to know because I always think that's fun. I always get somebody, there's always at least one person from India on here. And so that's fun. I don't know what time it is in India right now. I think it's like super early in the morning. And this guitar, incredibly, is not staying in tune as well as I would like. I'm tempted to want to upgrade the bridge on this at some point, but I don't know. Anyway, so that beginning part, that's tough, man. It's really going ascending. Everything else I feel pretty good about in the song. The chorus actually is tough. I gotta get back to that. And then the next part. I think I need to do those octaves with finger 3. That sets me up for the next chord. Why didn't I think of that? I always do the octaves with my pinky, but then I have to make this jump. So then why not just do that, right? Isn't this a beautiful guitar, by the way? Oh my gosh. It's the import, but I upgraded the pickups. Too bad my neck pickup does not work right now. The wiring came loose, I guess. So that's a bummer. This guitar really feels and sounds great though. You know, especially doing like Satriani type stuff. I've found it to be Sri Lanka. Cool, right on. Hello from Sri Lanka. So yeah, this is. I got a lot of. A lot of mess in there. JJ Boy says hi. Nice, yeah. Okay, cool. Now the party's really cooking here. Retro Doll says, I think I saw you on a gig like last 2 weeks ago. Could that be possible? Yeah, if you were in Dallas, were you in Dallas? Fort Worth, Dallas area, Retro Doll? If not, then you didn't see me. Dulashi says, "Can I have the guitar solo of Coldplay's Up and Up song?" What do you mean? Can you have it? What do you mean by can you have it? Are you asking me to play it? I'm practicing some Satriani stuff right now. Anyway, I'm gonna try this song again. I'm still not feeling great about those harmonics. What if I add the octave? No, that just messes it up. Let me see if I can. It's that note. That can't be the way he plays it. It's so hard. No, I've watched him play it. That is the way he plays it. Retrodol says surfing with the alien, please. That's my favorite Satriani. I have a video of surfing with the alien up on my channel. Can you spike, perhaps? I don't know what that means. JS series, yeah. This is the Indonesian model. This is like the low end one that I got. A good friend of mine who works hooked me up with a discount. I got this guitar for like $650 US, and then, which I think it was like 800 at the time, and then I upgraded the pickups to the Satriani signatures because the pickups that came with it weren't great. The guitar felt great, and it sounded pretty good, but it was real harsh, the tone. It wasn't that warm, fat sound like Satriani has. So then I upgraded the pickups, and now it's a total beast of a guitar. The only kind of downside to it now is the bridge. These are a kind of a pain to tune, and it doesn't hold tune as well as I would like. No, my brother. I mean a song of Coldplay. Coldplay. Yeah, I know Coldplay is a rock band. I grew up listening to Coldplay. Coldplay came on the scene when I was in college. So yeah, I dig Coldplay. Can I read Persian? I cannot read Persian. It's a great damn guitar. Which amp are you using? I'll show you the amp I'm using. I cannot read Persian. No. This is my amp. So this is like the signature amp that the kind of signature settings I've built in my quad Cortex. And what it's got, yeah, you can see all the things that I've put in here. Boy, it was a pain trying to learn how to use that thing. I tried you sometimes use my Friedman running through the quad Cortex, but I have found that I really like the Morgan SW50, which is modeled and built into the quad Cortex. So I've never played a Morgan amp in my life, but I love the sound of this thing. And then I use my Greg Howe Lickbox distortion pedal with that. So it's a great sound. Do I have more guitars? Yeah, I got more guitars. In fact, I'm going to turn on the light because it's kind of dark. So I'll show you kind of my studio, right? So here's my setup here. Got my nerdy comic book stuff up there. So I got my two Friedman amps. Got my old school pedal board. I've got my Mesa amp, and then I've got my Fender Twin, and then I have some more guitars here. So I've got a really cool American Strat that I love from about 2011. I've got, of course, my Parker Fly, which I haven't been playing a lot lately, and I need to get back into that. This acoustic guitar here is signed by Willie Nelson. It's not a fancy guitar, but it was a gift from my father-in-law, and it's signed. But so I got to get it hung up and displayed again. And then I've got my Laguna. If any of y'all are Greg Howe fans, this was the guitar that he played for a really long time. He has a couple in blue, and he offered to sell me one of his blue ones, and I just wasn't willing. This is the first guitar I ever bought with my own money. This is a made in Mexico Fender Strat that I have had since the mid-90s, and I've done some work on. Pretty much all of my guitars I've swapped out pickups, done fret work on. And then my number one guitar, no, I cannot play Starry Night by Joe Satriani. I could play Starry Night, but I've never learned it. Josh, my God, you got some gear. I do. Now it's fancy, LOL. A Mesa amp, that's my dream. Yeah, I mean, in my early 20s, I remember being like, how would I ever have gear? And just little by little over the years, you collect that stuff. So here's my Clapton Strat, which doesn't even look like a Clapton Strat anymore. I've had the neck completely sanded down and refretted. I've replaced all the pickups. I've replaced the bridge, ripped out all the electronics in it. And then what else do I have? I got my telly down here and my music man. I got, honestly, at this point, I kind of have too much gear, and I have a few more guitars in my bedroom closet. So in a way, I'm proud of the oh, I didn't turn on the light. The instruments that I have, but in another sense, it's definitely overkill. So I could afford to part with them. But you know, you love them like your own kids, and they're tools. They're tools. So this is such a great guitar for getting a Satriani song. Let's see. Thank you so much about accepting my request. Yeah. Are you left-handed? I am. What's funny is I am left-handed, but the way YouTube Live works, I've got the camera flipped. So it is, it looks like I'm a lefty. I am a lefty, but I actually play guitar right-handed. Chota says, well, nice. He says, I don't even have a Squire Strat. Fender guitar is my dream. Yeah, you know, honestly, if I could just have one guitar, it's my black Fender Strat. I love that guitar so much, and I recently had some work done on it, getting a nice fret dress. So yeah, I love it. Anyway, let's give this song one more try, and then I gotta jump off soon. I've got some video editing to do for my online guitar lessons website, but I wanted to get some more practicing in first. good field trip?
I don't know why. I don't know why Walgreens.
I don't know. Forget Walgreens. Walgreens sucks. Anyway, hi everybody. American healthcare is a magical thing. Yeah, having fun with prescriptions for my kids. Yeah, dude, those harmonics are insane. Like, I was like, oh, this is kind of like an easier Satriani song that's just fun to groove. It's from my favorite Satriani album. I was like, I'll be able to knock this one out pretty quick. I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time with those harmonics. It's embarrassing how bad I am at those harmonics. Josh says strats are the best, kind of hard to shred on them. Yes, except Josh, if you were still here, check this out. Hold on. Y'all don't go nowhere. Let me show you my black Strat. Now, this is for Josh. Okay, if you get just a standard Strat, they can be hard to shred on. But here's what I've done. I flattened out the radius of this one and put on medium jumbo frets, and then I got a proper fret dress. Dude. This guitar is actually easier to shred on than that Joe Satriani guitar. I love that Satriani guitar, and it's pretty easy to play. But this, the way I have it set up right now, there is not an easier guitar to shred on. I kid you not. It's incredible how easy this guitar is to play. And then I've got the bridge set up. To where it's floating. So it's like the ultimate super Strat now. I basically have this guitar spec'd to exactly what I would want in a custom guitar. I've basically made it a custom guitar. The only change I would make is I would make it a 24 fret guitar instead of 22. I would add 2 more frets if I could. Be Happy says hello, hi. Retro Dull says you got a Gibson Les Paul. Nice, that's cool. Josh says, yeah, you got a very nice tone. Thank you. Yeah, and it's all fake. It's all pretend stuff. I'm not even running through any of my tube amps. Retro Dull says, yeah, this guy knows about guitar. Just the fact that he's learning Satriani songs tells you a lot. Well, I appreciate that. Satriani's, I've been working on Satriani tunes for a couple decades now, off and on, and I just really enjoy it. But I definitely struggle more with, like, Steve Vai, Eric Johnson, and like Greg Howe. I was working on some Greg Howe earlier. Man, his stuff is just nuts. Right? I need the string mute for that. Here it is. Here's my string mute. Now. There it is. That's hard stuff. What and then right. So yeah, this guitar is super easy to shred on. Okay, now let's play a fire guitar solo. Yeah, those harmonics look hard AF. Yeah, they are indeed. I must have jumbo frets because my hands feel cramped. So like flat frets are like medium frets. The smaller, flatter ones it makes it kind of easy to play some chords. But for lead guitar playing, you want taller frets. So a medium jumbo, those are going to be like taller frets, and so I'm not sure if that'll make your hands feel. I don't notice a difference in terms of my hands feeling like they have less space, but in terms of being able to control the fret, like vibrato and bending is a lot harder on a Strat with very tiny frets. So it's just the amount of control that you have over the note. Josh, tell me why when I pick every string is cool, but when I get to the high E, the string feels too. It does. It just the high E, man. Yeah, it just feels. You might consider it just having a slightly thicker strings. I played on 9s for a long time, and then I've played on 10s. But now I've kind of settled on 9.5s. I've found 9.5 gauge strings, and I find that helps that high E from being too floppy. I don't know what I'm doing. I like the tone of that Satriani through here. Right now, this actually is feeling a little overly bright. I wonder what this sounds like with those harmonics. These harmonics actually feel a little bit easier on this guitar because it's a brighter sound. Let's see what that sounds like. Plus, I've got the neck pickup on this one. That's really how that melody is supposed to be played. With the neck pickup rather than the bridge. But since my neck pickup doesn't work on the Satriani right now, apparently, I discovered today. Shred some Skynyrd. Greetings from Germany. I mean, Skynyrd is all like... like G minor pentatonic stuff. Retro Dull. Satriani is, in my opinion, the best, most complete guitarist I've ever seen. I saw him live and was astonished. Yeah, I've seen Satriani live like 4 or 5 times, and he's easily my favorite guitar player, and I would say the best electric guitar player ever in terms of his ability to just play something that moves me as well as like be technically impressive. There's lots of technically impressive guys, but they're not as enjoyable to listen to. So to me, being the best is not just being the technically most proficient. It's also about how well can you move your audience. Guthrie Govan, man, Guthrie can play. The problem with Guthrie is he doesn't put out any music. He's got one solo album, and then everything else has been with the Aristocrats. So I think if Guthrie was to write, plus Guthrie is so good, but a lot of the music he writes with the Aristocrats is just so weird and not as accessible. Like my parents could listen to Satriani, and they don't even like instrumental music. And my wife, who doesn't like instrumental music, like she can be like, cool, I'll go to a Satriani show and I can enjoy myself. But like Guthrie, like they're not gonna have any fun seeing the Aristocrats. Why taller frets? Yeah, Josh, I think I answered that question. Taller frets, it gives you more control over bending and vibrato. I didn't mean to cramp, like there's too much gets in the way when I get past 12 frets. Yeah, I mean, it does get tight up here, especially if you're on like a Les Paul. It's a shorter scale length, so then you're really cramped. It just takes some getting used to. Cliffs of Dover, yeah, sort of. I was kind of faking my way through it. Do you know On the Hunt? I don't know. I only know, their main big hits from Skynyrd. RR the GOAT. Who's RR? Randy Rhoads? Retro, go practice. Yes, awesome. In fact, I need to go. I've been on here for half an hour. I got to do some video editing. You guys, y'all can download my 10 essential guitar warm-ups course for free. That link is in the bio. If you're looking for good technical exercises to help you get warmed up, there's 10 ranging from like kind of easy to like ridiculously hard. Like the second to last one. That's the warm up for that one, and there's a few more as well. It's kind of ridiculous. Josh says Randy Rose baby, yeah. So you guys, like, subscribe, check out that free course in that free guitar course, Crazy Train solo. Yeah, man, Crazy Train is something like that. I don't remember the solo. Is there something like that in there? I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, I gotta go, you guys. Y'all have a great morning, afternoon, and evening. I'll see y'all.